So in the Miller-Urey experiment, Miller intended to simulate the early atmosphere of Earth by using specific gases, which he thought might produce organic compounds necessary for life. The gases he included were water, methane, ammonia, and hydrogen. Since these gases don't react with each other under natural conditions, he generated electrical currents to simulate some form of energy input like lightning, which was needed to be used in driving the chemical reactions. The result of this experiment was just some production of amino acids. After coming across all of these, 3 questions should come to our mind. The first one is, how much of this experiment did rely upon natural coincidence and how much did rely on intelligent design? The second one is, how did Miller know what Earth's atmosphere was like supposedly billions of years ago? If we apply rational thinking on this issue, we will perceive it genuinely that there is no scope to dispute the fact that we have no idea of what the Earth's atmosphere was like billions of years ago. So, Miller's experiment is entirely based upon assumptions whose possibility of being real is almost zero. The third question is, did Miller produce the right type of amino acids? In the experiment, Miller was attempting to illustrate how amino acids could have formed by natural coincidence. However, throughout the experiment, Miller relied on years of intelligent research in chemistry. He purposely chose which gases to include and which to exclude. Next, he had to isolate the amino acids from the environment he had created them in because it would have destroyed them. No such system could exist on the Earth supposedly billions of years ago. It clearly appears that Miller used intelligent design throughout the experiment rather than chance processes. Again, how did Miller know what the atmosphere of the Earth was like billions of years ago? He assumed that the early Earth's atmosphere was very different from today. He based his starting chemical mixture on the assumption that the early Earth had a reducing atmosphere, which means an atmosphere that contains no free oxygen. Why did Miller and many other evolutionists assume there was no free oxygen in Earth's early atmosphere? Therefore, in order to avoid this problem, evolutionists propose that Earth's first atmosphere did not contain any freestanding oxygen. We must ask ourselves, is there any evidence to support this claim, or is it based on the assumption that evolution must be true? As it turns out, the existence of a reducing atmosphere is merely an assumption not supported by the physical evidence. The evidence points to the fact that the Earth has always had oxygen in the atmosphere. In fact, there is no scientific proof that Earth ever had a non-oxygen atmosphere such as evolutionists require. Earth's oldest rocks contain evidence of being formed in an atmosphere which contains oxygen. If we were to grant the evolutionists' assumption of no oxygen in the original atmosphere, another fatal problem arises. Since the ozone is made of oxygen, it would not exist, and the ultraviolet rays from the sun would destroy any biological molecules. This presents a no-win situation for the evolution model. If there was oxygen, life could not start. If there was no oxygen, life could not start. Michael Denton notes, what we have is sort of a catch-22 situation. If we have oxygen, we have no organic compounds, but if we don't have oxygen, we have none either. Because life could not have originated on land, some evolutionists propose that life started in the oceans. The problem with life starting in the oceans, however, is that as organic molecules formed, the water would have immediately destroyed them through a process called hydrolysis. Hydrolysis, which means water splitting, is the addition of a water molecule between two bonded molecules, two amino acids in this case, which causes them to split apart. Many scientists have noted this problem. Therefore, scientifically, there is no known solution for how life could have chemically evolved on the Earth. Because the scientific evidence contradicts the origin of life by natural processes, Miller resorted to unrealistic initial conditions to develop amino acids in his experiment, which means no oxygen and excessive energy input. However, there is more to the story. Producing amino acids is not the hard part. The difficult part is getting the right type and organization of amino acids. There are over 2,000 types of amino acids, but only 20 are used in life. Furthermore, the atoms that make up each amino acid are assembled in two basic shapes. These are known as left-handed and right-handed. Compare them to human hands. Each hand has the same components, 4 fingers and a thumb, yet they are different. The thumb of one hand is on the left, and the thumb of the other is on the right. They are mirror images of each other. Like our hands, amino acids come in two shapes. They are composed of the same atoms, components, but are mirror images of each other, called left-handed amino acids and right-handed amino acids. Handedness is an important concept because all amino acids that make up proteins in living things are 100% left-handed. Right-handed amino acids are never found in proteins. If a protein were assembled with just one right-handed amino acid, the protein's function would be totally lost. As one PhD chemist has said, many of life's chemicals come in two forms, left-handed and right-handed. Life requires polymers with all building blocks having the same handedness, homochirality. Proteins have only left-handed amino acids. But ordinary undirected chemistry, as is the hypothetical primordial soup, would produce equal mixtures of left and right-handed molecules, called racemates. A basic chemistry textbook admits this is a very puzzling fact. All the proteins that have been investigated, obtained from animals and from plants, from higher organisms and from very simple organisms, bacteria, molds, even viruses, are found to have been made of L-amino, left-handed, acids. The common perception left by many textbooks and journals is that Miller and other scientists were successful in producing the amino acids necessary for life. However, the textbooks and media fail to mention that what they had actually produced was a mixture of left and right-handed amino acids, which is detrimental to life. The natural tendency is for left and right-handed amino acids to bond together. Scientists still do not know why biological proteins use only left-handed amino acids. Jonathan Wells, a developmental biologist, writes, "So we remain profoundly ignorant of how life originated." Yet the Miller-Urey experiment continues to be used as an icon of evolution, because nothing better has turned up. Instead of being told the truth, we are given the misleading impression that scientists have empirically demonstrated the first step in the origin of life. Despite the fact that the Miller experiment did not succeed in creating the left-handed amino acids, textbooks continue to promote the idea that life could have originated by natural coincidence and continues to mislead students into thinking Miller succeeded in confirming the atheistic, irrational, and satanic theory of abiogenesis, which suggests that we popped up coincidentally out of nowhere without our Almighty God, who is the creator of the heavens and the earth. Also, let's keep in mind concerning the Miller-Urey experiment, that the atmosphere of the Earth billions of years ago was obviously not like that of Miller's ultimate enhanced laboratory. In fact, Miller-Urey experiment proved nothing except that amino acids could not form in such conditions. Second, the satanic textbooks completely ignore evidences which show that the atmosphere always contained oxygen. They also ignore the fact that Miller got the wrong type of amino acids, a mixture of left and right-handed, which is absolutely detrimental to life. So the only rational conclusion we can come to is, the Miller experiment, and all experiments since then, failed to produce even a single biological protein by purely naturalistic processes. Therefore, only God could have begun life.